work with kids now, and I see them trying to grow up here, and I don't see a lot of room for people to grow up. I see a lot of pretty things and a lot of things that a lot of adults want.
There wasn't a lot of room to grow up when I was here,
Yeah, but maybe there was a little more. I mean, I don't think the apartment buildings had come in yet, and I don't think that the real money had, established its lifestyle here in such a way that it was, really infringing on the rights of young people.
Well, that's true. I mean, it wasn't as incredibly prominent as it is today.
I mean, I don't see young people having a place to be or a kind of just a space, an emotional space, a conceptual space to be human beings in, to be respected.
Well, why would, these teenagers need that kind of space in a community with this much?
This much what? This much wealth, this much consumption, this many buildings, this many lawns, this many parks, this many schools, this many private clubs. Yeah, it's got a lot of those things, but what about, the cat on the street? Values have to be respected, and that's what the community looks like, but there has to be some space within those values for new values to develop, and if we don't look to young people for some leadership, we're going to die. It's going to become a decadent thing.
Can a teenager accept anybody's territory but his own?
Maybe, maybe not. I think that a teenager shouldn't have to share his territory. I mean, what is a teenager? It's just somebody who's not something else. I mean, I don't know that we have to call them teenagers. They're young people, and young people need a place. And just as their parents have bought these fancy homes and these big buildings and put plastic on the couches and color TVs in every room and air-conditioned the place till you think you live in a refrigerator, it's like, I think kids need a place to be productive and a place of their own and a place to begin to discover who they are and what they want to be.
After I get finished fucking method, I'll probably go back shooting dope.
They only get into trouble.
Right. You sort of like took the, proverbial dive.
It bothers me because they look like they have nothing to do.
I'll tell you to get off the street.
A man over 17 is not a kid. See, kids seem to be lost.
They come by here every night and they tell us that we can't hang out here. They say go to the park. So we go to the park and play ball, and then they come by and tell us that we can't play ball because...
Maybe it's a desire just to be together.
They don't have any special interests.
The avenue blows.
Ivan and I was sitting on the steps over there the other night. Cop comes over, shines a light in our eyes. Guy walks over, grabs us by the neck, looks at our arms. Nothing on our arms. He calls us dirty, stinking junkies. I start walking down the street and he kicks me in the ass, says I'm not moving fast enough.
Life is too short to stand around.
They should do something for them. I mean, the school doesn't have anything going.
Oh, I think there's a great need for that.
They built on every available spot.
I do not know personally what the needs or the requests of the young people might be outside the church.
We're in the Jewish business, so to speak,
Both corners converge, man. You used to have the Jews over here and the Irish over there. Now you have the Jews and the Irish. Now you have the Jews and the Irish dope fiends, man.
You gotta do something for yourself.
We needed a space, or we really shouldn't spend the money on the street. And then the idea of a dome and Buckminster Fuller's feeling that people can do it and do it with less and do it cheaply came up, and a lot of really fine people who were here that night said, hey, let's try. And it's going to be a coming together of people.
Ain't seen nothing but sunshine for just about 40 days. It's burned my corn and I ain't got nothing to sell. Working so hard to tend my fields, yeah, I almost paid them all. Now the sun's so hot, my dog
beginning how we used to wake up in the tents that we were using to camp out there, take the blueprints and figure out on the soil exactly where all the foundation poles would be. We started out digging by hand and just with shovels, and it was a little hard to do it that way, and we got some picks and people would chop up the soil and then dig it out. And once we ran into rock, we got pneumatic hammers, I guess they are, and went through it.
Now the well outside has run dry. A man came by this morning, said he wants to buy my land. Well, I just want one more chance to try. Let me go. Oh, I wish it rained now. Just give me some water. Oh, I get so thirsty. Now won't the good Lord send me some rain? Ease my mind. Now it's hot and dry again. Won't my troubles never end? But now he don't hear me cry. There ain't a dark cloud in the sky.
This is the first positive, constructive project that I have seen done here. You can take all your Johnson Avenue cleanups and all your park cleanups and pick up papers, because the next week it's dirty again. But this is a positive statement by the kids here, and it's absolutely fantastic.
Then one morning, the truck came and delivered an enormous amount of wood, which went on top of the foundation poles, sort of the joists to hold up the floor. And we paired the wood together. We brought the wood to where it would be and nailed it together, because it would be too heavy to carry if we nailed it before. And then measured exactly where everything would be. We put main beams in the floor. Then, attaching the beams to each other, we used smaller boards and 2x6s. And then on top of that, we insulated that with styrofoam sheets. Then put a plastic layer on that to sort of weatherproof it or waterproof it, whatever. And then on top of that, a plywood floor. frame went up very quickly, but it went up wrong. And we took it down and built it again, took it down again, and the third time we put it up right. And everyone was waiting for that. And we had then finally, when the last hub was tightened, we had our celebration, drinking champagne out of Con Edison hats and so on. And it was sort of a turning point in building the dome. Everyone had a really good feeling about that. It was the first time we could actually see what it looked like. And it really looked better than anyone expected. It was really unbelievable that even we actually got it done.
It was just a corral. There was dirt, and there was a wooden ring, and that was it.
You don't just think of it as a building, but it's actually, like a person.
Don't over-tighten it, Mark. Richie. What? I want an orientation, okay? We think Mark is an A, right? Mark is at all A's, right. An A, and then there's a B from Rick over there. Right, okay. Okay, then all around here there are C's. Put it in, Rick. There's an A there and a C there. Next is a C, and that's a B going across, right? Right, but he won't get that in. That's a B going, yeah. He gets a B going over to the pen and a B going over to the head. No, he's got a B there. Right, and a C going. Now you got me confused.
The dome itself looks really out of sight. I'm sort of impressed with the way the work's going so quickly. And it's sort of nice to see a lot of people around that you've seen before all over Riverdale doing all sorts of weird and odd things, and now they all seem to have a purpose and they're doing something intelligent.
My nose hasn't sweated in a long time.
The way this is built, it'll be here after some of the skyscrapers are gone.
After the frame, we had to put on the shell, which was a plywood triangles that we nailed onto the frame.
Out and the dome's being lit up by those lights. It's more than all the technical garbage that we've been running around with and yelling, and the struts and the A's and B's and C's. And it's more than all those people coming in and saying, isn't it wonderful and good for the community? and all the rest that they're saying, which is fine and good, and they're enthusiastic and happy, but it's more than that now. It's poetry and it's music and it's bigger than all of us, and it's all of us in there and all those nails that each of us hit in, and it's amazing and very moving. God, I don't believe it. You can't even say it. There aren't any even words. Cliche, but there aren't. It's just that amazing dome.